Welcome to part one of several parts of understanding cannabinoids, a practical therapeutic focus. We hope this will help you understand CBD and the various cannabinoids and how they work in the body. First, it's important to understand that everything in the human body is a connection. Okay, the body, the mind, the spirit all work in concert as a system of energy containing complex chemical as well as electrical interactions. Millions of chemical symphonies are happening within the body every second. And to function optimally, the cells and the membranes in your body must be fed to be healthy. We've learned over many years of empirical data and study feedback from our clients that the more nutrients within your body and the more nutrients within the cells, in other words, the better you eat, the more effective cannabinoids are going to work. So what happens when your body isn't working properly? Well, it always tells you the body is divinely inspired to heal if you give it the right condition. So through inflammation or pain or some other condition or something stops working or many other types of symptoms, your body always tells you when something is wrong. This is a sign for you to change something. The problem in America is for the past 30 years we have been conditioned to go to the doctor, and the doctor will ask you how things are going and evaluate you, and typically they will treat you with a pill. Not always, but it seems to be getting more and more prevalent over the last 10 years that pills have become the answer. And how on earth do you think this is going to help? Well, you've sought out this information because you know the pills are not currently helping. 90% of illnesses come from toxins, and we are bathed in toxins every day, all day long. So, if you want to be healthy and you want to get rid of the condition that's plaguing you, you need to start with a system of process of elimination. It could be one simple thing that's causing your headache. It could be one simple thing that's causing your pain or inflammation. Or this autoimmune deficiency that we're talking about. Everyone talks about fibromyalgia, and the doctors aren't sure where it comes from or what causes it, but we do believe it is from inflammation throughout the body. And it could be caused from one toxin within the brain, something like glyphosate or paraquat, or perhaps mercury, or even a mold toxin can get in the brain and wreak havoc on the stomach and on neurological inflammation. So if you can start cutting out things like the potentially toxic toothpaste you're using, or even the pods that we put into our dishwashers to clean our dishes, they are chemical in nature. Now we have chemicals on our plates, and we're putting food on our plates. See the connection, okay? Think about this for a little bit. Typically, the more prescription drugs within the body, the higher the milligram strength people typically need. Certain prescription medications shield the cell from being able to absorb nutrients, and this slows the function of the P450 system, as well as ATP, which is a complex interaction within the body that provides energy to your cells. We're going to talk more about this in part 2. So, the breakdown of the cell is fairly complicated, and most people don't really know a lot about their cells, but it is important to understand some information about how your cells work. Every single cell within your body is a mirror of you. So, you have a respiratory system that helps you breathe. You have an immune system that helps to keep you healthy. You have an excretory system that takes away waste. Each cell within the body has all of these same systems. So, what are cannabinoids? Well, there are two types of cannabinoids. Some we make, and others we supplement within our body. We make endocannabinoids from within. The word endo means within. So they are made within the body, and we have receptors throughout the central and peripheral nervous system that interact and influence these materials. There are also phytocannabinoids. These are the types of materials found in plants and different extracts, and we supplement them. We put them into our body to help to influence our ECS, or this endocannabinoid system that each one of us have. Phylogenetic studies state that every single mammal on the planet Earth, any mammal that gives milk, has these receptors. But we have recently discovered that CB receptors are also present in every single vertebrate investigated to date. That's pretty telling when you think about all these different species on the planet Earth have these same receptors. So, our endocannabinoid system is a vast grouping of receptors throughout the entire central and peripheral nervous system. They control physiological and neurological chemical processes like pain and mood and sleep and memory, movement, immune system function, as well as sensation. They are responsible for homeostasis, which is nothing more than a balancing or a modulation of cellular and membrane health. It is vital to have healthy cells and healthy membranes to be a healthy person. The history of the ECS, discovered by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, an Israeli physician. It was identified in 1992, and it was identified first by the neurotransmitter called anandamide, and this was the first naturally occurring endogenous cannabinoid known to man. It was found by the NIM researchers Mechoulam, Devane, and Hannes. And these cannabinoids are found in various plant materials, including cannabis, hemp, hops, as well as flax seeds, and there are trace amounts of cannabinoids in other plant species, such as caryophyllene found in certain peppers. Now, this is one of the most misunderstood examples of hemp versus cannabis. If you look at the pictures of these two cats, you'll notice the lion on the left and the panther on the right. They're both cats. They're both found in the same cat family, but they're very different cats. Same with hemp and cannabis. Hemp, on the left, is very tall and very thin and sinewy. It almost looks like bamboo. It does not bloom. It does not necessarily flower. But cannabis on the right, however, flowers with these buds, which are filled with cannabinoids, and primarily they are filled with THC, which is the psychotropic molecule that makes you high. Now, hemp grows with very high concentrations of CBD and other cannabinoids, and very low concentrations of THC. On the other hand, cannabis is the opposite. Cannabis grows with very high levels of THC and very low levels of cannabinoids. So the difference: cannabis is grown to have elevated levels of THC, which causes the high, very psychotropic. It hits that CB1 receptor in the brain, it causes the high, and helps people to relax. Hemp has low levels of THC and high levels of cannabinoids, and these molecules balance many chemical functions in the body, and to date they have discovered 100+ separate and distinct cannabinoids, but most are trace in size, meaning they are very, very small. So let's talk for a moment about the 6 most powerful cannabinoids. The 6 primary cannabinoids are THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, CBD, cannabidiol, which we are discussing here today, CBC, cannabichromine, CBG, cannabigerol, CBN, cannabinol, and CBDVA, which is cannabidivarin acid. All of these C's regulate and balance the body. CBD is the most powerful known to date and the most studied, and in section 2 and 3, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the extraction process, which is very important, how we get these molecules from the plant material. But a brief history: people have used hemp for thousands and thousands of years to make oils and fabrics and ropes and food, even building materials. Once the hemp farm bill has opened up here, which we'll talk about in a moment, we will be able to build buildings from hemp. And a lot of people don't realize how efficient hemp is. It's more efficient than wood. Pests do not get into the wood. It helps to fight moisture much better than wood as well. Hemp was part of the American pharmacopoeia, and in the early 1900s, farmers were given certificate of value for their grown hemp. But in 1932, there were some powers in Congress and powers in the US government that taxed hemp and made it too expensive to grow, and this migrated everything to cotton. And some people got very, very wealthy. Now in 2014, the US government passed the Hemp Farm Bill, which opened up research and growing of this wonderful plant, which was a wonderful thing for our US government to do for us. There are thousands of uses for hemp, And now that the hemp farm bill is in place, we will begin to experience this incredible influx of wonderful materials that are very effective. There are hemp farms within the US, currently in California, Colorado, Oregon, Kentucky, as well as Arizona. So, cannabinoids are produced within the human body. A lot of people do not realize that the human body makes its own cannabinoids. It is found in breast milk. When the infant consumes the milk, we know that it builds the immune system for the infant. Okay? It influences a wide range of receptors, and these are the largest class of receptors within the human body. They are known as neuroendoimmune modulators. So neuro stands for brain, endo stands for within, and this assists in hormone production as well as helping to regulate lots of different immune system functions within the body. There are other influential receptors within the body, such as the vagus nerve, or the cranial nerve X, they call it. The vagus nerve forms part of the involuntary nervous system and commands lots of different unconscious body processes, such as keeping the heart rate constant, controlling food digestion, as well as glutamate receptors, which are surrounding the vagus nerve, and they are also influencing things like nausea and how you feel when you eat certain things. There are many people that are allergic to MSG. That is the reason why when they consume something within an MSG and they immediately want to vomit, their body wants to remove this toxin from their body because they have an allergic reaction. These primary receptors are CB1 receptors located in the central and peripheral nervous system, as well as CB2 receptors located primarily on white blood cells, in the tonsils, and on the spleen. This is a picture of the human body, and you can see centrally located the different colors of these CB1 and CB2 receptors, these little keys that fit into certain doorways within chemical interactions within the body. Heavily concentrated in the brain. You can see the line of blue going down the spinal cord, and very, very heavily influenced within the gut. A lot of people don't realize that the gut and the brain are intrinsically linked. Your stomach is your second brain. And if something is going wrong in the stomach, it can actually manifest in the brain or create neuroinflammation or even headaches or migraines. So when a doctor gives you something for your head, if the problem is stemming from your gut, it's not going to do any good. And vice versa. If you have colitis or irritable bowel syndrome occurring in your gut, as many people do, it is possible that this could be manifesting from a toxin within the brain, causing neuroinflammation and manifesting within the stomach. So it's important to know where these things are germinating from, and we can help to counteract some of these influences with cannabidiol. The CB1 receptor, heavily influenced anandamide. Anandamide is the bliss molecule. Okay, this is what makes us feel good. When you eat chocolate, anandamide goes up in the brain, helps you feel good. 2-AG stands for 2-arachidonoglycerol. And then there are immune system benefits and immune function from this particular material, and it helps to carry toxins from the body. Very important for our body to work properly to remove toxins. CB2 receptors are also influenced by 2-AG. 2-AG is also a different type of omega-6 fatty acid, and human milk is also CB2 dominant, as well as helping to regulate blood sugar and blood regulation. We do have many people that are seeing benefits from CBD with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So that's it for part 1. Part 2, we're going to go into more complexity of the chemical interactions within the central and peripheral nervous system. And thanks for watching.